Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. So here is another variety of Pachyphytum. I'm not very sure exactly what is the ID. The genus is basically Pachyphytum. I'm kind of thinking I do have a ID in mind, but I'm not very sure if it's the same one. I'll put it up on the screen. I think this might be the ID, but I'm not very sure. Initially I thought it is probably a moonstone, but eventually I noticed that it started to look quite different. And this is the pot. If you remember, I had made an arrangement with two other succulents in this. I'll put up the image on the screen. You'll be able to see. Now I had to shift both of the other succulents in another pot. One was Haworthia elegans. Of course, elegans wouldn't have done well in this because this requires a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. And then this succulent was kind of telling me that it needs all the space for itself. So I thought I might as well shift those other two succulents in another pot. And now you can see how large it has got. These are the beautiful blooms of this typical Pachyphytum blooms. You might have seen such blooms on our moonstone as well, but moonstone have a little bit more pink flowers compared to this, but the shape of the flowers are very similar. This is how the Pachyphytum oviferum also tends to get its flowers, very similar to this. And there is a second bloom coming up. Now I didn't see any aphids on this or any mealybugs, so it's kept in morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. Probably that is one of the reasons I have not seen aphids on it, but I'm going to chop it off. I just wanted to show you guys the blooms. There is second one coming up, so it's doing pretty well. I will be cutting off the blooms after this video. And apart from this, I have another one. Now this one is again a mother plant. I had done a stem cutting from this, and you can see there are pups on this stem. I will be giving it some water today, so I'm going to do a little bit of bottom watering while we are talking about it. So even this one has started to put out the bloom. This one is also the same variety, but this one was getting indirect bright light, so you can see the colors are missing a bit. It gets a very little tint of pink on the edges of the leaves, but overall it has that similar color of what moonstone has. So this one was kept in indirect bright light, so hence the colors are a little bit less, but I haven't seen it getting colored a lot, probably because I'm not stressing it a lot. I'm just watering it whenever the soil is completely bone dry. Probably I can try to stress it because you can see it's very well hydrated. There's a good amount of water in the leaves, and overall the plant is doing quite well. I might propagate some of it, some of the leaves, and this one is the other one, as I said. This one also I think I will do a little bit of watering because you can see the leaves are a little dehydrated, so I'll leave this one as well in for bottom watering. And here, as you can see, it's also starting to put out two pups. Very excited. I will separate them once they reach a decent size. Right now I'm just going to leave them as it is because they still have to grow quite a bit, but it looks really nice. So two more pups on this mother plant. I think I will do the cutting right now itself before I forget it. So I'm just going to cut. So this is where you usually cut it. Don't cut it too deep into the stem. Wherever you see it visible, just give it a cut like this. And eventually that portion will also dry out. You can see I had done the cutting before of some other flower stalk. Let me see if I can take it out carefully. It's still hard, but yeah. So this was the remaining part of that flower stalk from last time. So eventually it will dry out. You don't need to go too deep into it. There's another one over here. You can see it's dried out. You'll probably pull it out later on. This one also, I'll carefully cut it off. And now if you want, you can put some cinnamon powder on it. Even if you don't add cinnamon powder, it's absolutely okay. It will dry on its own. But if you have cinnamon powder handy, you can put a little bit on the cuts. Will help to heal the cut faster, so you can put some on the cuts. That's all about it. I think somebody had asked me how to cut off the bloom stalk, so I think you might have got an idea. So this is how the bloom stalk looks like. I know it looks absolutely beautiful, but then it tends to pull out a lot of energy from the mother plant. And as you can see, there are 2 pups on this, so I want the mother plant to focus more on the pups rather than it putting out flowers, because for me flowers are not very important. Apart from that, you can see these leaves that you see on the stem, these can be propagated. The flower stalk cannot be propagated. It will eventually dry out, because a lot of people, they tend to put the flower stalk inside the soil thinking that it's going to develop into a plant. This will eventually start to dry out. These leaves have a chance of getting propagated, so for time being I'm going to keep them over here because I won't be watering this pot. The succulent is already well hydrated. I'll take out these leaves as well. These leaves will propagate, but they take a little bit of time, and don't expect them to grow very fast, and the success rate can be quite less, because you can see the shape of the leaves, they are very small. They don't have a lot of water or nutrients in them, so the rate of success is going to be a little bit less as compared to taking the leaves from the mother plant. I won't be taking the leaves from the mother plant. I'm just going to leave it as it is, because I have enough of them growing, plus I have some pups in the pot, so I think I'm going to leave them as it is. This remaining portion I will put it in my compost bin. It can turn into compost, so this is how it tends to look like. So I think these pups are already watered. You can see the upper layer of soil is wet. This indicates that we are completed with the bottom watering. That one is going to take a little bit of time. I'll let it sit in there. So this is how you can cut the bloom stalk. I love this variety. I wish I could have found the exact ID, but as of now I'm speculating it could be the name that I'm putting up on the screen. Probably it is that same variety. Overall, it is a very easy variety. If you are a beginner, you can definitely add it in your collection. Soil has to be loose, porous, well draining. Once the soil is completely bone dry, you can wait for a couple of days. Remember, these have very chubby leaves, so if you're going to have excess moisture in the soil, high chances of this plant getting rotted from overwatering. You can see my leaves are kind of closed inwards because it is hydrated but not overly hydrated. So if you are a beginner, you can definitely add it in your collection. Offer a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours after acclimating it if you want to see those beautiful colors. Otherwise, you can offer a good intensity of indirect bright light. Your plant will still do quite well. The only thing is that it's going to look a little bit bland if you're going to keep it in indirect bright light, but there won't be any stretching, so ensure you're offering a good amount of light. The intensity of light is less, then the plant will start to stretch. So guys, that was all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.